All right, what's up everybody? Welcome to the video. Today, just got a little project ahead of me. I'm gonna be restringing my beautiful LTD B204. And I thought for anybody interested, I'd just show you my method. This is how I'm gonna change strings on it. And if you're interested in changing strings on your bass, which is something you should do, but perhaps you've never done it, you feel the task is daunting, hopefully this will be a good guide for you to get going. Also, what I'd like to do first is I'm gonna play it with these old strings, which if you can see here, I always put a little label on the back there. This is in drop C. I don't know how well you can see that, but it says drop C. We've got 45 through 105, and it was changed on March 25th of this year. So now it's August, about 5 months. Haven't done a ton of playing on it. I've tracked 4 songs with it, but I told myself I was gonna change strings every 3 or 4 songs for this recording I got going on. But let's hear how these strings sound now after being on here for a few months. But here's what they sound like, and they still sound great, I'm sure. And then after we get it restrung, I'll try to do that same thing. What did I play? I don't know, just something like that. I should have tried to play something that I could play again afterwards. It'd be exactly the same, but it'll be another little improv like that. Something like, just like that, I promise. And we'll hear the difference. If it sounds a little more lively, which it should, brighter, all that, even though they're gonna be the same strings, same gauges, same tuning, all that, we'll do a little comparison. Let's get started. As I mentioned, I'm going 45 through 105. And the fact that I said that this is in drop C tuning, which would be C, G, C, F, is completely irrelevant. Whatever tuning you're in, you're just gonna apply what I talk about here to your tuning. It's not gonna matter. The process will be the same for changing strings. In this case, I could choose to take all the strings off at the same time, or I can go one by one. And in this case, I'm gonna go one by one. Why would I wanna take them all off or go one by one to make that decision? I take them all off about every once or twice a year, maybe every 4 or 5 changes, so that I can get at the fretboard and in the nooks and crannies around all the pickups and the bridge, all that where the strings are kind of blocking, and I'll oil up the neck. But I've already done that recently and it doesn't need it. I am gonna polish as I go along here, just because I always like to keep my guitars looking nice and clean, but there's no need to get at any of the nooks and crannies right now that are kind of harder to access with the strings off, so we're just gonna go one by one. I'm using Dean Markley Blue Steel, but you can use whatever you like. 45, 65, 80, and 105. I typically start with my low string, so flip the pack over, set it there, and that'll be the order there. I wish I could send this to somebody that wants it. And here's a little trick, okay? So when you get your new string on here, without even taking this old one off yet, you may ask yourself, you know, do I use this whole thing? That's gonna be a lot to wind around. The tuner there. And I've got a nice wind on there. There's enough to, it's not too much where it's like doubling up on themselves. They're just about right. Look at that one. Looks beautiful. Come on, focus. So I like the length that I have there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of get it. This is a string through body design. Maybe yours goes through the back of the bridge, but this particular one is a string through. So we have to kind of figure it's gonna be about like that much. So it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect what I'm about to show you, but let's just assume it's about like that. And then how much am I gonna wanna cut off? So I'm gonna go measuring kind of from here to here, and you can get technical and use a ruler too, which maybe I'll even show you how to do that, but it's gonna be about that much, but we need the wind. So instead of just clipping off this string, I'm gonna unravel it and then compare. Also note, that with this particular headstock, which has 2 tuners on each side, and it doesn't matter if you have a 4-string or a 5-string or a 6-string, whatever, just this particular configuration is 2 per side. And you can see that the 4th and 3rd string wrap around counterclockwise, and the 2nd and 1st string wrap around clockwise. See that? These 2 are left of the tuners and wrap around this way. These 2 are right of the tuners and wrap around that way, so you want to keep that in mind. So I'm undoing this to the point where I can get a nice grab on it. Okay. Now if I were to unravel this best I can, I've actually never done what I'm showing you right now, but I thought of it beforehand and thought that'd be a good idea. Because I know a lot of people, even with guitars, are like, how much do I cut off so that I could get a good whine? And a lot of times it's just trial and error. You never want to cut it too short and not give yourself enough to get a nice wind around your tuner peg. But, so here we are. Or, you know, now I could just take this out actually and get a perfect measurement. This is my old one. Be careful pulling this through, because it's all bent up. Here's my new string. And since I like that wind and that length, I'm just gonna compare them and cut accordingly. All right, good. I know that's gonna be about a good length. Here goes nothing. All right, get rid of that end. Another tip, always have a garbage can nearby. Don't confuse your strings too. We know this was the all bent up one, and this is the nice straight one that hasn't been wrapped around the tuner yet, so we know we could throw away the old one here. But having a garbage can around just comes in handy, so you're not making a mess, leaving all your strings and ends all over the place. A tidy workspace is a happy workspace. All right, so here we go with the first one. So I'm gonna pop it through. The 4th string. Make sure that's in there nice, tight, all the way through the saddle. Gonna bend that down a little, help get it started. Now, when we go to wrap around the tuner, you could just wrap around, but most tuning pegs on basses have a hole in there. See that hole? Here's our slot, and then there's a hole straight down. So sorry, I'm gonna try to do this one-handed, but what we wanna do is stick the string into the hole. Sorry, I'm trying to hold the camera and do it at the same time. I'm looking through the camera. So now it's in there, okay? And we're just going to wrap it around like that. So basically it was in there straight. And I'm gonna wrap it around so that it's facing, it's on the right side. So when we tighten, it's gonna go counterclockwise, like I showed you before. Now I need both my hands for this. So I'm gonna put this away for a sec. I should have had another guy come out here and film this for me so you can get it all up close, but hopefully you can see this well. I think you can. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold my hand down there, get that. Again, I had it down straight into the peg, then wrap it around. I'm holding it in the position. On the next string, I'll show you another method for knowing the length of the string that you want to cut without comparing them, how I just kind of eyeball it, okay? And that's gonna be just right. Look at that, we're about to tension, not quite yet, but we have an absolutely beautiful wrap. As you can see there, and it's wrapped around the right side. Winds are going counterclockwise. And we're just, it's not a C yet, but we're tight, we're good. So on to the next step. I'm gonna get this a little tighter. And I'm gonna start my stretching process, which is very important, especially with big, thick strings like this. You wanna stretch them out as much as you can so they'll stay in tune better, because I don't know if you put on new strings before, you find that as you start playing around, they go out of tune. It's because they're settling into the guitar and they haven't been properly stretched yet, if you skip this step. So I'm gonna hold my finger down on top of the string here just to hold it down, and then I'm gonna put my other hand underneath and just lift. just getting a nice stretch, you know? So with my right hand, I'm holding down, left hand, I'm pulling up, and you'll hear it's dropped in pitch. Well, I don't know if you can tell that, especially on a bass. All right, get my tuner going, and we're just gonna get it close, but not perfect at this point, because getting everything perfect will come at the last step when all the strings are on there and everything's at the new tension. Make sure your volume's up. Lowest string is always the hardest to tune, so it's good to get a harmonic at the 12th fret. And we're at D. I also can compare it and listen. There we go. We're at a C. Okay, pretty close. Now as I stretch this again, don't forget up here, push down above the nut a little bit. Get it stretched as good as possible. I'm just gonna do this a couple times, and then each time that I put a new string on, I'm going to stretch again. But watch how much it'll drop down to A sharp. So the stretching worked. And every time we do this, that discrepancy will be less and less, to the point where it'll always be a C. See that? Even closer, not A sharp. We're still in the C range. Good. Let's move on to the next one. So here, I'm just gonna take this one off. Now, because I'm not gonna compare the lengths here, I'm gonna show you my normal method. I can just clip this. I just got it loose enough to where it's not gonna hit me in the eye or anything. Okay. Pull this off up here. Through. Get my 80. Get it through the back. All right. Now, I'm just gonna take a look here. I see that, you know, I have quite a bit extra from where that is, and I'm just gonna cut that length in half visually. So if, with it in there, in the saddle and stretched up to the tuner, I'm gonna mark where that tuner is with my fingers, just that length, and then the length of the string that I have left, I'm now gonna just eyeball that in half and cut that off and hope it's right. Again, you never wanna go too short, but if it's too long, you can always cut a little more off if you have too much wrap. All right, so now, again, to demonstrate this, again, you can see that one has a hole in there, just like the other ones. So I'm gonna stick this into the hole. Okay, got that in there. Now I wanna give myself a little advantage by, I'm gonna try to do this one-handed wrap around like that. I'm pushing down and wrapping. You see that? And we're good to go there. I'm gonna keep my finger there. I'm gonna hold my finger down there. Well, I may have skipped saying this the first time, but I hold this down against the headstock as I go to wrap, and that'll keep my wrap tight and in place. Well, can you see that? Okay, and as I'm looking, I want to make sure it's fed through the nut there as well as possible. Trying to do this so you can see. It's looking good. All right, and we're about to tension. Pretty close. And another nice clean wrap. Okay. So now, because of our tuning, we're looking for a G here. Close. Okay, we're at a G, but we haven't stretched yet. Watch how that'll drop. And it's all the way down to a D sharp. So back up to G. All right, we're at a We're at a G, good. Stretch again. And each one, as they get thinner, require less and less stretching. But the thicker ones, that's why I do go back and do them all every time. And bring this back up to a C. See, look at that, very little discrepancy. Back up to G. Do one more. How's that C? Look at that. Barely needs a touch at all, so it's working. And each time that we go back, we're gonna do the next string, we're gonna do the G again. Each one will get less and less out of there. All right, we can start on this guy here. You wanna see the comparison method again? Here's one other way you can do it. Again, and this is like if you like how the wraps were before and you want them to be, you know, exactly the same. Say your setup before didn't have enough wrap around there, then you wanna make sure you make this new one a little bit longer. Or if there was too much wrapped around, it looks all ugly, and you had way too much string, then make this one a little bit shorter. But here's the other method. With measuring, we can try that. I'm gonna pull this off. Still got the string through the body. And I'm gonna put it right at the tuner there and just hold it. Okay, so now I see that I got this much when I stretch that out. What's that? 4 inches, 5 inches. So now I know when I put the new one on, we need about 4 or 5 inches past the peg if we want that same wind, if that made sense. Okay. Okay, so now when I put this up here like this, I'm just gonna hold it. You can see there at the tuner. So I know this is exactly where the tuner is, where I have that. And I need to go about 4 inches past it. So about like that. And we should be good. Same deal, right into the hole. Now this time, we need to go around. Get this right, there we go. Okay, I'll show you up close here. Sometimes it can be confusing, but you can see that I've got it in there, down in the middle, and then I wrapped around like that, so that when we turn it to tighten or sharpen, it'll be going clockwise, right? When we sharpen these, they go around counterclockwise. So I just had to position it so it was on the left side of the peg there. All right. Now I'm gonna hold this down. Let me show you that up close. See there, I just have my finger holding this down so that when I wrap, the wrap stays near the bottom. It doesn't get out of control and go towards the top. If I had 3 hands, I'll show you that, but you're just gonna have to trust me that Here we start. If you're wondering what this tool is, it's part of the Music Nomad setup kit. It's the winder and cutter combo, and the mechanics of it are so smooth. I love it. The cutter's solid. Okay, and we're good. Alrighty, so now we're gonna be looking for a C here again. Good, stretch. dropped as expected. Let's get back to C. Looking good. Stretch the low C or E, whatever you got going on. Do the G and the C. So you see how that works? Just each time I start again and keep working my way, keep working my way. Beautiful. My G's still stretching a bit. So I'll do a little, just be a little more aggressive. Yeah, so it's dropping a lot there. So it's good that we're doing this. Good. Last one. Another part of the setup process, if you have active pickups, is making sure your battery's solid, and I would have done that before this process so that my tuner was getting good signals and all that with a fresh battery. But I know this battery's good. So here, again, I know I just need about that much. All right, down in the hole. Down in a hole, I don't know if I can be saved. You don't understand. Wrap looks gorgeous. Looking for an F. Bomb. Okay. Again, whatever tuning you're in, all these same principles apply. We're looking really good. I like that tuning there. I'm going to do a little polishing, tune again, we'll rip it. A couple other little things. This particular polish is the one from Music Nomad. Also, this Nomad tool is essential for getting in those nooks and crannies. You got your little brush guy, which I love. I'll have links in the description if you'd like to check this stuff out for yourself, as I trust and use them all the time ever since I found them. I think they're the bomb. Don't forget the backside. And your sides. And like I always say, my favorite part, right here, because that neck's gonna feel gorgeous afterwards. Super smooth. Clean base is a happy base. Now, a little piece of tape for my new date. So I know, still drop C 45 to 105, so that doesn't need to change. But my date on there needs updating now. Okay, today is August 7th, 26. 8/7/26. Now I know, if I'm ever wondering when these bass strings were changed, we will know. Tune, one last tune, give it a strum, and see how she sounds. Great. Let's try it out. Here we go. Again, I'm gonna just try to play a similar jam like I did before. and we'll see if we can tell the difference. Be hard to tell because we heard that so long ago, you know, earlier in the video, but let's give it a rip. I'm just in a weird spot here. Okay, here we go. What do you think? I think it's pretty good. Definitely feels good. And we're ready to go. So I hope you found this informative. I have a plethora of guitar maintenance tutorials here on the channel. Everything from intonation, all sorts of guitar stuff, Floyds, fixed bridges, Evertunes, all that. But if you want to take things further and learn about straightening your neck or doing the intonation, the same things in those guitar videos that I have right here that you can check out will apply to the bass. So if you want to take it further, please go ahead and watch those videos and get your bass as absolutely perfect as it can possibly be. Thanks for watching. Rob Arnold. Make sure you're subscribed. Hope to see you again on the next one.